Right, good afternoon everybody. Thank you very much for joining me for a little bit of an impromptu unboxing video. This is Puerto Rico Special Edition. Let me know if you are watching live, if you can hear me and you can see me okay. And I say impromptu because this arrived this week. I was going to do an unboxing video of it at some point because I like to do an unboxing video before I dive into the game and opening it up. And I originally planned that I was going to do this next week, but I don't have time next week, so I'm going to do it today. So that's why we're doing an unboxing video today. And as you can see, this is the special edition, and I think this is the all-in. Now, big thank you to Awaken Realms. I have a good working relationship with Awaken Realms, and I have done some coverage of this game when it was on their Game Found campaign. And as a thank you for that, and because I'm an influencer and a reviewer, I get sent all of the bling. So yeah, huge thank you to Awaken Realms for supporting the channel and sending me all this stuff. I didn't pay for this, just so you know. As I say, I'm very fortunate to be in the position I am, and that does mean I get some nice toys. My original copy of Puerto Rico will be given away at some point. I will be doing a Patreon supporters giveaway, and my original copy of Puerto Rico is now going to be given away. This one is much bigger, it's much nicer, but it's the same fundamental game. I believe there's lots of expansions and stuff like that in there, but Puerto Rico is one of my favourite games. I've played it over 300 times. Probably about 30 times physically, and the rest of them have been online plays on various platforms. But it is a game which I remember when it came out and played it a load, and yeah, I played it a lot. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to dive in, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open this pack of No, we're not. We're going to open the big box first. So I'm going to move these to one side, and we are going to look at the main box. So if you didn't back everything, then this is probably what you will have. I believe that you can just buy this and you don't have to buy anything else. And if you have backed it, let me know. Let me know if you're just here just for fun, or I think if you want to buy it now, you probably can. I don't know. Somebody let me know in the chat. If somebody's watching this video and thinks, I want this, can you actually buy this now? I assume so, but I don't know where from or how much it is. So, Puerto Rico Special Edition. The first thing is there is box lift. The reason there will be box lift is because there will be punch boards in here, and once you have taken the punch boards out and you have punched out all the pieces, the box will then fit normally. I assume. Either that or they've printed the box the wrong size. I don't know. But now, apart from taking the cellophane off, I haven't actually opened this up yet. So this is a brand new unboxing video for me. A brand new unboxing video. In other words, I haven't opened it yet. I don't know what's inside. So we have a rule book. Now, this is 44 pages, but that's probably because, I like the texture of this. This is a really nice texture. It's nice, thick paper, not glossy. It's probably got all of the expansion stuff in. So it's got modifications for a two-player game. Yeah. So half of the rule book is the original game. And then the rest of it is all of the modifications, the extra bits, Expansion 2, Expansion 3, Expansion 4, Expansion 5, alternative game rules, and then Pertoma, which is the solo mode for the game, which I'm very keen to try. And I believe that John Albertson was involved in the solo mode. Pretty sure John did it. Let's have a look before I give credits to the wrong people. Playtesting, solo design. So it's John Albertson, but also Xavi, David, Nick Shaw, and David Turksey. Okay, so yeah, I think John did most of the work. Everybody else just took the credit. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. But anyway, that's that. Right, we have some player aids. Always good to have some player aids. So we have some nice building references here. These are on a kind of plasticky sheet, I think. But yeah, they're from the expansion. They're from the expansion. Okay, so lots of building references, which is useful to have. Okay, so we have the main board. I think it's the main board. How's it going to open? It's going to open like that. Okay. Is that the main board? Yeah, I think so. Or is it an expansion board? It might be an expansion board. We'll see in a minute. We got these. Player boards for solo mode. Right, we have some punch board. So yes, this is all of the punch board. And thank you very much again for doing a list of where everything's going to go. Tonight, while I'm going to be sitting down watching the next episode of Fallout Season 2, I'm going to be punching all of this out and having an absolute whale of a time because I love doing it and putting it all away in the box. That's tonight's job. But yes, thank you very much to American Realms for producing this. So we are going to just punch a little bit out. We're going to do Paul's punch test on it. If I can get in without damaging anything. Try to have a look at the other side of the main board. Ah, right, okay. Other side of the main board, there's that. Is that just two different ways of having it? Yeah, I think that looks like two different ways of having it. You could actually have it that way, or you could have it that way. That's really good that they've done that, if that's what that is. Thank you for letting me know. And apparently, if you want to fit the acrylic tokens inside the main box, you will get a bit of box lip. Yes. Okay. Right. So, yes. Paul's punch test. Yes, they're punching out nicely. Okay. I'm not going to punch them all out because otherwise we'll be here all night and I will probably lose some of the bits. So let's move them to one side. Yeah. So here's all of the buildings. More buildings. More buildings. And then the festival expansion and some more buildings, the big buildings. Plantations or whatever they're called now. I don't know what they're called now, but they were plantation tiles before. We have some solo mode stuff. We have some other stuff. Okay, there you go. There's some punch boards. Move them out of the way. What else do we now have in the box? Player boards. Now, these are super thick dual layer player boards. Let's try and get in. He says. He fails to get in. Come on, there you go. Right. So, yeah, everybody's going to get one of these. And yeah, this is very thick. Now, these are not warped. I don't know whether they are going to warp. Sometimes you get warpage of stuff like this once it's been out of shrink, but we will see. I don't know. I've not heard any reports of anybody having warped boards. If you have them, let me know. But yeah, all of your stuff's going to go in here. Your buildings are going to go in here. This is all very nice. And your portrait's going to go in there. So yeah, we got 4 of those. Sorry, 5 of those because it is up to 5 players in the game. Right. Now we're starting to get to some of the bling. I say bling, this is the standard with the game. So we have the boats. Now I did see somebody on the Discord server who said that their boat things had broken. But these all look intact and okay. And it's not coming out. That is very tightly packed in. And I don't want to break it. Oh, there we go. It's like clipped in. Ah, it's got clips. I didn't realise that. Right, there's 2 little clips on the side. So I'll show you them in a minute. But we already have some buildings. So this isn't even... We've not opened the terrain pack yet. And we do get a building. So that's nice that they include that building. So we've got some of those. Now, what's this? Ah, this is the tray for having stuff in. So we've got some stuff here. I'm going to take that out. We'll have a look at those bits in more detail in a minute. And what do we have underneath? We have some silica gel. Always nice. Any tip to add your own sun drop? Yes, there are ways that you can add your own sun drop. You just basically need to do a base coat on the miniature. In this case, you would do brown. So you'd get a nice brown paint and you'd just paint it brown. You'd probably undercoat it first, then you'd do the brown, and then you just need a dark wash. Either a watered down oil or a watered down acrylic, or even just like, Citadel's Nuln Oil or Army Painter's Black Shade, a shade basically, and you just go over it with the shade. So you can do your own sun drop. It just takes time. So this looks like storage trays for the building. So I guess you will put them in here. And you will put this near the table for when you're playing. And then we have more storage trays. So more storage trays for some of the stuff that we're going to be punching out. That's where the colonists are going to go. Yeah, we'll have a look at those in a minute. But what's really nice about this, and Chris was telling me about this last night, because in Puerto Rico, you use a certain number of colonists depending on whether you're playing a 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, or 5-player. So what they've done with this is they've said, look, this is the storage tray for 2 players. In a 42-player game. In a 2-player game, you need 42 colonists. Here are the 42 colonists which go in here. Oh, you're playing 3 players? Right, here you go. So rather than having to count out the colonists each time, you just take the 3-player add-on bit, and there are the extra colonists that you need for 3 players, which is another 16 of them. Now, you've got to make sure that you put the right number of colonists back in each one at the end of the game. But it means setup is a lot easier. You don't have to count out the colonists. You just take the right trays from here. So we've got those. Then we've got these. I don't know what those are. We've got another storage tray for some cards. We have another one. These look like victory point counters. We've got some metal coins. We'll have a look at those in a bit more detail. And then we have a bottom tray for more of the buildings. Right. Okay, so now we're going to have a closer up look at some of the components, starting with the ships. Have I pressed the right button? Nope. Right, bear with us a minute. I just need to... There you go. That's the right one. So, these are what the ships look like. Now, this is where you store all of the goods, and there is something that slots into here, depending on player count. So you always use the same 3 ships, but depending on the player count, you will slot in additional boards into here, for example. Slot that in there, if it will go in. How does this work? I think I'm doing it right. Yeah, that will slot in, and that basically gives you an extra storage space. So the number of spaces available on the ships is based on the player count. So that's how those work. Colonists, let's have a look. In fact, are they called colonists? I don't know what they're called in this version of the game. Citizens, colonists, I'm not sure what they're called. But again, these are all sun-dropped, and I might just zoom in a little bit more on these because they are pretty tiny. But yeah, you can see the level of detail on these. These are really, really nice. And there's a few different sculpts, I believe. Well, no, these are all the same, actually. Maybe these are all of the ones for the 2-player game. Yeah, these are all of the sculpts for the 2-player game ones. Okay, is that going to focus? Yeah, okay, right. So I'm going to move them to one side, and then I'm going to get out the 4-player box. I think these are different sculpts. Oh, so there was me saying as long as you put the right number back in the right place at the right time, you kind of don't need to because there's different sculpts. Tell me if that's in focus or not. I'm struggling to see on my screen whether it is in focus or not. And you're probably watching it on a bigger screen to me. But yeah, different colonists for different player counts. So that's good. Sort of. Right, okay. Now, I want to have a look at this because I don't know what these are. These might be for the solo mode. They might be for one of the expansions. But we have these special red ones. Okay. There you go. Nice. Yeah, that looks in focus to me. So yeah, really nice miniature. Right, what else are we going to look at? Let's look at the things that were in this tray here. So again, we are zoomed in a lot, but I'm going to take these out. And I'm going to show you these. So these are the different goods that you can load onto your boat. Oh, the red figures are for expansion too. Right, okay, so there you go. That looks like a crate full of tobacco leaves. There you go, it's nice. And then let's look at crate of bananas. Oh no, it's corn. There you go, crate of corn. Then we have a crate of bananas. The bananas are green. There you go. So we have a crate of bananas. Then we've got the tobacco. We need the sugar. So there you go. There is a crate of sugarcane. Very nice. And finally, I think it's the coffee beans, or maybe the previous ones were coffee beans. There you go. So these are really nice. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. That's those. So let's switch back to here. I'm going to move them off to one side, trying not to lose anything. No doubt I will. Was there anything else from the main game box to show you? Yes, there was. We got the victory point markers and the money. Okay, so I'll just show you those. So the victory point markers are these. I'm not going to bother taking them out of the box, but basically, yeah, we got these, and they got a nice ship on the back. You got 1s and 5s. And then we have the metal coins, doubloons. So again, we got 1s and 5s in doubloons. It's fruit instead of indigo, yes, because this is the 1897 version of the game. And indigo, I guess, was no longer a thing. Right. So that's the main game box. We're now going to open the acrylic tokens box, which I think some of you will have backed, because the previous special edition that Awakened Realms did, which was Castles of Burgundy, the acrylic tokens that they did in Castles of Burgundy were very, very good. So yeah, I think a lot of people really enjoyed those, and will probably have bought the acrylic tokens for this as well. And again, this is just an optional add-on. You do not need this, but if you like the game and you have disposable income, then nice things are always good. So this is the add-on box, which is the acrylic tokens. And what we have is we have basically, oh, okay, everything's moved around a bit. These are basically replacements for the punch board. So the punch board pieces, oh, there's a strong smell coming from this. The punch board pieces that we saw in the previous one, these are replaced by these. So let's just make sure everything goes where it should go. Large sugar mill goes there. Office, hospital, large coffee roaster, office, large market. Right, okay, so we've got two layers. We've got that layer for the first buildings, and then we have another layer here. I'm not going to sort these out, but you can see here a few of them have got dislodged. That's because this game has been transported around the world. I'm assuming that they won't fall out like this when you are just transporting the game yourself. It's just because it's been, you know, halfway around the world to get to me. But yeah, so these will replace the punch board, so that's nice. And the comment earlier on in the chat is that if you do put these in your main game box, then you are still going to get box lift, because these won't fit in the main game box without box lift. And then we have replacements for the countryside tiles, or the plantations, whatever they're called. And we also have for the rolls as well. So these are a really, I mean, they are acrylic. They're really nice. They feel really nice. They've done a really good quality job with them. So that's that add-on. But the one that I'm most excited about is probably, and I say this as somebody who has been sent this. Where have I put it? Where's the terrain pack? Is it there? Is that the terrain pack? Yeah, there's the terrain pack. Okay. Thought that was the main box. So the terrain pack, I've seen pictures of these buildings and they are gorgeous. They have done a fantastic job with these, but you definitely don't need these. The acrylic ones you don't need, but they're nice. Whereas these buildings, these are literally for the people who love the game and really want it. So I've not opened this yet, but as I say, I've seen pictures of them and they do look really nice. So this is basically going to give you extra bling for the game. Miniatures that you put onto the tiles. You still need to use the tiles so that you see what they do, but you can put miniatures on them. So we're going to dive into the terrain pack. I mean, it's quite a big box. So there's going to be a lot in here. And I think there are some dropped versions and non-some dropped versions of this. But we have a little sheet telling me where everything goes, which is nice. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so this is what they're going to look like if they're not sun-dropped. Right, look at this. You probably can't see it because of the shine of the plastic. But if I take that off, so if I just get one of the player boards for a minute. Okay, so these are the player boards, and these are the spaces where you're going to be putting the countryside tiles. So for example, if you've got fruit thing, it's going to go in there, and then that space there is where you place one of your little workers, and you put them on there, and they go working in there, and they will produce some fruit. I'm actually going to show this on the overhead camera because you've got a bit of an angle. Yeah, so that's how it works. Let's try and get it so it's focused. There you go. So that's how those go on there, and they look like that. So yeah, we've got a whole load of those. Now, I don't know when you're playing the game, I don't know where you put these. I don't know if you just put them in this next to the board. Let's get that coinus over there. Right. Oh, yeah. So, shinies. Lots of shinies. Let's put this over here for now. Right, so I think we're going to have 2 layers of buildings here, because that's not all of them. Yeah, there's more. Right, okay, let's have a look at these. We've got 1, 2 layers of buildings. Get that out of the way. Okay, I'm going to show you them here, and then we're going to have a bit of a zoom in. I'm not going to look at all of them, because you get the idea. But these are all of the different buildings that you can build in the game, presumably with the expansions as well. I assume that they've done the terrain pack for the expansions, otherwise it'd be a bit crazy. So yeah, let's go to the overhead, and let's have a look at some of these buildings. So again, I'm not going to show all of them, but I'm just going to show you a few, so you can see the level of detail that's on these. This one's quite nice. I remember having this one in the prototype. This is the fortress, a different scale to the other ones. But yeah, that looks quite nice. Now, where is it in focus? It's there. There's in focus. Okay, so what I'm going to do... Yeah, I'm not going to leave it there. That's fine. I just need to remember to put it down. Let's have a look. So I saw somebody has painted some of these on the Discord server, and they look fantastic. So, lighthouse. Very good building in the game. Yeah, what was the buildings? I think it was the cotton mill that somebody had painted these. Yeah, so I've seen painted versions of these, and they look absolutely fantastic painted. And you might think, well, why would you paint them if you've got Sundrop? And you're absolutely right. These look amazing, but if you're a miniature painter like me and you have the time, then yeah, I've seen some painted versions of these and they look incredible. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these buildings, but they've done a fantastic job. They've done a really, really good job at producing one of the best board games of all time, a game that has been on the #1 spot on Board Game Geek for longer than any other game. It's not the #1 now, but it is still a very highly respected game. And as I say, I've played it a huge amount, and it is very, very good. Right, so there's the buildings. There's the terrain pack. So it's all of the buildings, and it's all of those. That's it for the main game, apart from we have an art book. There you go, with some of the art in there, with a little bit. Okay, so it's not just art. This is nice. They've actually put more stuff in here of historical information. That's quite nice. And I like this as well. This is really nice. They've modelled the miniatures on actual real things. Yeah. As I say, I think they've done a really good job with the production of this game. You know, they've actually taken a photo. They've got a photograph of the hospital, and they've made the building to look like that. So yeah, happy with that. We also have this. So to replace main board, we've got a playmat, which is always nice, bit of neoprene. And I was not expecting to get this in the box, but we have San Juan. Now, San Juan is a card game, it's not really a card game version of Puerto Rico. It's a completely separate game, but I didn't know that this was going to be included in there. And San Juan is a game which is actually very, very good. It uses the Race for the Galaxy mechanism, and the designer of Race for the Galaxy, Tom Lehman, who also designed San Juan, basically when they came to him and said, you know, we want you to design a card game version of Puerto Rico, he said, well, actually, I've got this game that I've been working on called Race for the Galaxy. And I think he was struggling to get a publisher for that at the time. But although Race for the Galaxy was designed before San Juan came out before Race for the Galaxy. He basically he developed the mechanism and he used it in this game. And it worked really well. So, yeah, nice little card game, nice little box. San Juan is a good game. I remember playing it when it came out, and I've probably still got my copy of it somewhere. I don't know where. Right, that is it for me. Now, the big question is, when am I going to cover this on the channel? I don't know. I mean, I love the game. I love Puerto Rico, and I now have this new version, so I do want to play it on the channel. I don't have any sponsored coverage for this game. I did the sponsored coverage for them when it was funding, so it will be a case of just fitting it in when I can. And I've still got a backlog from Essen, believe it or not. So yes, I will definitely be getting this finished version of this game covered on the channel at some point. I do want to play the solo mode. I suspect that I will probably do a Patreon only stream of the solo mode first, just as a learning game. So if you are one of my Patreon supporters who helps fund the channel, and I'm not saying this is going to happen anytime soon, but you will likely get access to a bonus playthrough video where I play through the solo mode for the first time. But yeah, I'll be getting it covered on the channel. I don't know when. I will also be taking it to a local board game convention this weekend where I might get a game of it in. I don't know. I've got a busy weekend. I've planned most of my games, but I'm probably going to take this with me in case anybody wants to borrow it or in case I get a chance to play it. That's it for today. So yes, thank you very much to everybody for joining me this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed it. This has not been a sponsored playthrough, sponsored video at all. I've not been paid any money to create this video. All of my advertising revenue goes to charity, and I'm only able to do this sort of stuff thanks to the support of the Patreon campaign. So a big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for funding the channel. And if you like the content that I create and you want to see more content, I do more than unboxing videos, then you can support me at patreon.com/gaming rules. But for now, I will say enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much. And I will see you on Monday afternoon for a live playthrough of SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. 3-player game of that happening on Monday afternoon. You can always watch the videos back later if you're not able to watch it live, but that's happening on Monday. But for now, I'll say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.